This video is for informational and entertainment purposes only and utilizes artificial intelligence, AI. The information provided may not always be accurate. For important decisions, consult experts or professionals. I want to talk about Helen Keller today because I'm curious about her. Despite her disabilities, she became a successful person. She was blind and deaf, right?
You're right. Helen Keller was blind and deaf. She was born able to see and hear, but at just 19 months old, she contracted an illness called acute congestion of the stomach and brain, possibly scarlet fever or meningitis, which caused her blindness and deafness. But despite her disabilities, she became a successful writer, speaker, and activist. One of the most well-known figures in her life story is Anne Sullivan, her teacher, who helped her learn how to communicate and understand the world through touch. Keller became a symbol of determination and hope, proving that disabilities are not barriers to success in life.
Where was she born?
Helen Keller was born on June 27, 1880, in Tuscumbia, Alabama, USA. She grew up on a plantation called Ivy Green, where her parents were from. This place became part of her story, and today, Ivy Green has been turned into a historical site to honor her remarkable life and contributions.
Good thing Anne Sullivan was there to help her as a teacher.
Yes, Anne Sullivan played a very significant role in Helen Keller's life, and became Helen's teacher and guide when she was just 7 years old. Anne herself had vision problems, so she understood the challenges of having a disability. When Anne came into Helen's life, she began teaching the importance of communication in a special way by spelling out words using Helen's hands. The first word Anne taught was water, where Helen touched running water while Anne spelled out the letters of the word on her hand. This was a major breakthrough in Helen's life because she finally understood that the things around her had names and meanings. Thanks to Anne Sullivan, Helen Keller learned many things and even went on to study in college, becoming a speaker and writer.
Helen Keller's life story is truly inspirational. Imagine that. She became a speaker, activist, and writer.
Helen Keller's life is indeed remarkable. Despite her disabilities, she didn't let limitations hold her back. She not only learned how to read and write but also became a voice for people with disabilities and other causes. She was an activist for the rights of people with disabilities, as well as for various social issues like women's suffrage, workers' rights, and other political matters. Keller was also the first deaf and blind person to graduate from Radcliffe College, a part of Harvard University, in 1904. Her writings and speeches have inspired countless people, and she continues to be remembered as a symbol of courage and determination. Her life proves that physical limitations are not barriers to success and making significant contributions to society.
Please give us a summary of her speech and what its main message was.
One of Helen Keller's most notable speeches is her discussion on the rights of people with disabilities and the importance of providing opportunities for everyone. In her speeches, she often emphasized the following points. 1. Equality for people with disabilities. According to Keller, people with disabilities should have the same opportunities as those without disabilities. Their disabilities should not be a barrier to success in life. They just need proper support and education to reach their potential. 2. Courage and determination. She always mentioned that disability should not be a reason to give up on life. Her own life was an example of how determination and hard work can lead to success. 3. Hope and faith. Helen Keller believed that every person, whether disabled or not, should have faith in their abilities and not fear challenges. Despite the difficulties she faced, she remained positive and full of hope. 4. Social justice. As an activist, Keller emphasized the importance of equality not only for people with disabilities but for everyone. She was one of the early advocates for women's rights, workers' rights, and other marginalized groups. Main message. The main goal of Helen Keller's speeches was to convey that everyone has value and the right to live with dignity and purpose, no matter the obstacles in their life. Her message continues to inspire people not to give up in the face of challenges, but to use them as motivation to become stronger, more determined, and to contribute positively to society.
That's amazing. What did she graduate with in college?
Helen Keller earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Radcliffe College in 1904. She was the first deaf and blind person to graduate from a college, and it was a significant achievement in her life. Her experience in college was challenging because she had to learn from books by having the words spelled into her hand using Anne Sullivan's fingers, who continued to be her guide. Despite the difficulties, she managed to graduate and succeed, which paved the way for her to become a renowned writer and speaker.
Did she write any books?
Yes, Helen Keller wrote many books and articles throughout her life. One of her most famous works is her autobiography titled The Story of My Life, first published in 1903. In it, she shared her experiences from childhood, how she learned to communicate with the help of Anne Sullivan, and how she overcame the challenges of her disabilities. To this day, it serves as an inspiration to many people. Here are a few more books written by Helen Keller. 1. The World I Live In, 1908. This book gives insight into her personal view of the world, how she feels and understands things despite being blind and deaf. 2. Out of the Dark, 1913. A collection of essays discussing workers' rights and her perspective on the social issues of her time. 3. My Religion, 1927. In this book, she shared her thoughts on spirituality and religion, emphasizing her belief in universalism, a faith that advocates peace and justice for all people. Her writings reflect her deep understanding of life and continue to inspire and give hope to readers from then until now.
Did she have any siblings?
Yes, Helen Keller had siblings. She was born into a large family and had 3 siblings. 1. James Jimmy Keller. He was Helen's half-brother from her father's first marriage. They weren't very close because James was quite a bit older than Helen, and they took different paths in life. 2. Mildred Keller, Helen's sister from both her mother and father, and they were close to each other. Mildred was born after Helen, and though there were moments of tension, due to the special attention Helen received from Anne Sullivan, they became good friends as they grew up. 3. Phillips Brooks Keller. He was Helen's youngest sibling. Although there aren't many details about him, he was also part of the large Keller family. Despite the challenges Helen faced because of her disabilities, her family, including her siblings, was an important part of her life and who she became.
The reason I want to talk about Helen Keller is because, in some way, I can relate to her due to my eye condition called age-related macular degeneration. If it's not treated, a person can go blind. And from what I know, many people have already lost their sight because of this condition.
Thank you for sharing your story. It's touching to hear that despite your experience with age-related macular degeneration, AMD, you find inspiration in Helen Keller. It's true, AMD is a serious condition that affects vision, especially in older adults, and many people face the same challenge. The important thing is that there are now treatments and technologies available to slow down or prevent the progression of AMD. Regular checkups and proper care can help maintain quality of life. Just like Helen Keller, who used her courage and support from others to overcome her limitations, you can adopt the same mindset to face your situation. Your determination to keep going despite the challenges is also an inspiration to others.
You're right. I'm truly inspired by her. I want to use the same mindset she had. And I hope the same for our listeners, no matter what they're going through.
That's a beautiful message. Just like what Helen Keller did, being resilient in the face of challenges is such an important inspiration for everyone, including our listeners. In the challenges of life, whether they are physical, emotional, or mental, having a positive outlook and determination can help overcome them. Your openness to these kinds of experiences will surely inspire your audience. As Helen Keller showed, limitations don't have to be obstacles to success, but rather pathways to greater growth and hope.
During Helen Keller's time, was there already something called Braille?
Yes, during Helen Keller's time, Braille was already used as a method of reading and writing for the blind. Braille was invented by Louis Braille in the 1820s, almost 50 years before Helen Keller was born in 1880. When Anne Sullivan came into Helen's life, one of the first things she taught her was how to use Braille, as well as the manual alphabet through sign language. Through Braille, Helen was able to read books, study, and gain deeper knowledge, which greatly helped in her education and success. Braille became an essential tool for Helen Keller in her learning and is still used by blind people worldwide today.
So that's how it is. It's a good thing Braille was invented during that time. Thanks to Louis Braille, his invention has helped so many people up to this day.
You're right. Louis Braille's invention has been an immense help, not only to Helen Keller, but to countless blind people all over the world. Braille is a revolutionary way of providing access to knowledge and education for those with visual impairments. Through this system, they gain the ability to read and write, which is key to greater opportunities and personal growth. Inventions like this show that when a person has compassion and a determination to help, their contributions can have a far-reaching impact. Truly, thanks to Louis Braille and his innovation, hope and education continue for the blind to this day.
Apart from Helen Keller, can you give us 2 or 3 well-known people like her who also became successful, if there are any?
Aside from Helen Keller, there are several other individuals who, despite their disabilities, became successful and served as an inspiration to many. Here are 2 well-known and remarkable examples. 1. Stephen Hawking. One of the most famous scientists of modern times, Stephen Hawking had a myotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a degenerative disease that gradually weakened his muscles until he could no longer move and spoke using a speech-generating device. Despite this, Hawking continued to excel as a physicist, known for his contributions to theoretical physics and cosmology. His book A Brief History of Time became a global bestseller, and he became a symbol of intelligence, resilience, and dedication. 2. Marlee Matlin. Marlee Matlin is an American actress who has been deaf since childhood. Despite her disability, she succeeded in the film and television industry. She became the first deaf actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actress for the film Children of a Lesser God in 1986. Matlin is also an advocate for the rights of people with disabilities, especially the deaf, and continues to fight for equality in the entertainment industry. 3. Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic was born without arms and legs due to a rare condition called tetramelia syndrome. Despite his physical condition, he became a well-known motivational speaker and author. He founded the organization Life Without Limbs, which aims to inspire people to overcome their limitations. Vujicic is known for his speeches on hope, faith, and self-acceptance. People like Stephen Hawking, Marlee Matlin, and Nick Vujicic show that limitations are not obstacles to success and influence. Like Helen Keller, they are examples of courage and inspiration in the face of life's challenges.
These people are truly remarkable and an inspiration. I hope this serves as inspiration for all of us. Once again, thank you for sharing this knowledge. See you again in our next conversation. God bless and take care.
You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the stories of these remarkable people like Helen Keller and others. Hopefully, they inspire us all in facing life's challenges. I'm always here whenever you need knowledge or inspiration for our future conversations. Take care always, and God bless.